Hey guys, welcome to the final critique, aka the critique of the final. Off the rails already. Oh goodness. Only 10 seconds in. Alright. Well, yes, so this time around we're going to be looking at the work of Tracy, Anne, Sherry, and DJ. So without further ado, let's get into it and look at Tracy's work. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to quickly go through them, and then we'll come back and sort of talk about things that are working and things that could probably still use a little more work. So yeah, I feel like for this one, Tracy, you definitely had a lot of different stuff going on. It seemed like in your artist statement, the sort of thing that you drew as a comparison, like what brought these all together, was more or less just sort of your visual style, visual interests. All right, so I like this sort of as a kind of candid shot, although it is a little bit soft. I'd say maybe this could have used a tripod. I feel like it's maybe just a slight bit of motion blur, enough that it's kind of softening everything up. So I'd say maybe tripod for this, and maybe just slightly less depth of field, sort of open up on your aperture a little bit. That is definitely also a little softer, I'd say, for probably the same reasons. This I felt was really nice. It's a nice moment, and you have some really pretty interesting details like this, and sort of the hair, the boots. I don't know, I felt like this was a pretty interesting image. As was this. This might actually be your best image of the group. I would say that mainly because you have a couple images here that are pretty good images, and then I feel like adding them together sort of maybe makes sense. This is a really nice just image of this house, and then it almost feels like it's like if they didn't overlap here, I'd almost just feel like it was real misty, and like this was kind of receding back into the distance. But I feel like these kind of make sense together, and they're a couple of your strongest images, as I guess I just said. But I felt like that's a good combo. Like, sometimes I feel like people they have like an average kind of image and then a pretty good image, and they kind of try and put them together to see what happens. I feel like if you don't have two pretty strong images and two images that'll fit well together, you're not going to end up with a good third image that's the combined image. If that makes any sense. I also like this. I mean, again, pretty straightforward. Is this? Okay, this is the same image that's in the background of this one here. Yep. Okay. Again, I feel like that's funny because in this I felt like it added a nice little touch of color to this image that you added it to, whereas here I feel like it's pretty strong as a black and white. Again, because of the... Is that black and white? Yeah, I guess. For some reason I thought it looked... I've seen just little hints of color back there. But yeah, again, there's a bit of a starkness to this, and I feel like the black and white is good for kind of complementing that. This I liked as an idea, but I'm not sure that it fits with some of the other stuff. I feel like there's maybe two groups of images here. This one's okay. I sort of like how this is getting picked up. Like, it's picking up a little bit of sort of light from somewhere, but I feel like it's a little bit unevenly lit. Like I feel like this should be a little darker and this should be a little lighter. Again, I would say some of the same things here. Just like this, I feel like this is a much better version of that same kind of thing. I do like sort of this paired with this element. Sort of a, I guess it's just a one finger ring, but it kind of looks like those old-fashioned multiple finger rings. And sort of a nice moment with her too. Again, I would say the previous version is the better one. And this is just a nice moment, but again, I feel like it's a little bit soft, as are the previous ones that I mentioned. So overall, I'd say I'd say your best image is this. Yeah. So yeah, overall pretty good work, Tracy. I do still feel like this is maybe two projects together. I don't know that I necessarily agree that just the fact that you made both of them kind of makes them into one thing, because I feel like I realize, having seen your work over the course of this class, that you do definitely have a lot of different interests. But I think, like the portraits could be one thing, and sort of this one and the other one could be like another thing. I don't know. That's my thought on that, but thank you for showing us your work. And up next we have Anne. Oops. Alright, now Anne's was a little tough to judge, because I know that you went to the museum and sort of shot some sort of pictures of artwork, and to the extent that I recognize them, like I recognize this image in the background as being, I think it's a Selling Man image. I can sort of appreciate some of the stuff that you did to him. Like this, I feel like I do kind of recognize the background image, but I don't feel like it's, like I feel like you've done enough to it to make it a different thing. So yeah, I feel like that's pretty successful. And I feel like a lot of these are successful, but a lot were hard to judge just because I wasn't familiar with every piece of art that you used in making your own work. This I thought was pretty good. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go through them. I totally am ignoring the thing that I just set up in the last group of images, which is that I was gonna look through all of them. Again, this is pretty good, but I don't recognize the artist whose work your photograph. I guess it looks familiar, but again, I think this is good, but it's always tough with this stuff, because it's like, I think this is a really cool element. I feel like it works good with the background, but like, you sort of have like maybe a Jasper Johns, the flag element, but I'm not sure what the other part here is. It's just difficult to judge. I feel like this is a pretty successful one too. I really do like. I like a lot of sort of the geometric shapes that you're using and kind of imposing over the images. Love the colors too. Again, some of the stuff it's just so hard to judge. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it is hard to judge, because it's like, what of the things that are here am I enjoying the stuff that is your work, or am I enjoying the stuff that is the work of the artist whose work you're photographing? That's tough to say. I mean, maybe that's not even worth discussing, or maybe that's like the thing to discuss, because it's like, I mean, obviously I don't know. I don't want to go too far down the sort of postmodern art wormhole, because I don't know that everyone would necessarily get a lot out of that. I mean, certainly, if you want to discuss it with me, Anne, we can do it. But I'm gonna just step back from that. I'm just gonna go with it. Very cool. I like the line work here. And again, I feel like your geometric shapes are a lot of it's very not. I mean, I guess it has elements of abstraction. It has elements of some kind of modernist and postmodernist stuff going on there that I particularly like. Yeah, it's tough to say on some of these. mean, I feel like there must be. I feel like there is a lot of you in this, as well as the sort of works of the artist, because I mean, obviously, you know, through the artwork that I do recognize, it's changed quite a bit. There's sort of the sort of geometric shapes that I'm seeing a lot of here. I feel like that's a sort of a through line to the whole thing. Boy, it's tough. I mean, you know, you get into issues of authenticity and all that. Although, I mean, what is the value of authenticity in sort of a post-modern, you know, that is a discussion for not right now. But I'd love to have it with you, and if you want to chat me up sometime. Yeah, I would say overall, all this stuff does feel like a part of a whole, and I love the colors, I love the brightness, I love a lot of the elements that I can discern that are your elements. And of course, the reason that these were all hanging where they were is because you took elements of pretty successful art. Wow, that probably just sounded like a bunch of nothing, but yeah, okay. Let's look at Sherry's work, because Sherry has some interesting stuff here. Again, oh yeah, Atlantic City. I'm just going to go through and we're going to quickly look at some of these again. And, yeah. Alright. So you have a lot of different things going on here. Alright, so I'm just going to start with the left and go through. I'm definitely enjoying both of these. I would say between the two, I think that maybe this is the stronger image. I feel like I really like the sort of strong horizontal sense of movement along this axis, and liking these shapes. I feel like that's a pretty good. I might zoom in just a hair here. I feel like that's pretty good. Sorry, went in a little bit too much there. Yeah, I mean, I like that you do really get a sense of this area in addition to I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know if Anne's work just melted my brain or what. But I really do. I like the color here. I mean, you get a sense of the place, you know, sort of the boardwalk. You get the atmosphere, kind of the mood. Like in what you did with the sky here as well. These really are. A lot of these are kind of good. They feel like maybe a little moody, but in a good way. Now this is partially the same image, but I guess I would say rather than maybe that it's part of the same image, well, let me look back here for a second. Is this... It's definitely in the same place. I don't know, but it has like a very different feel to it. It looks like you used sort of your effects here to your sort of filter package there to give it kind of like a film image with some kind of light leaks, maybe like a plastic camera kind of look. It goes really well with the subject matter. I mean, it feels like apart from the fact that that you have sort of the same subject matter, it really does feel like a different image. Mood is totally different, and yeah, I like that a lot. Let's go on to this one. I would say the thing mainly that I would say about this is I like these footprints. They look really weird, sort of solarized with the sort of inverted stuff going on. I feel like that is really kind of bizarre, but I like it. I like it. This is I like the texture on some of this, like with the solarization and sort of the wet sand. It just looks really kind of strange. It's like a moist sand, bizarre texture thing. I am actually enjoying it quite a bit. Like these are good. These do kind of look like some of the things that you were doing previously. This is a little weird, especially in the context of the other ones. Like you sort of have the seaside, and then now you kind of have moved to the forest, which is probably just sounded weird. Very interesting. What else did I want to talk about with these? Now here's one where the beach goes. Deer goes to the beach. Pretty apt description of that. The Trump Plaza. Oh, I do like this quite a bit too. It sort of has the feeling of like when you see like an image that's been taken a long time ago, superimposed over like what is there now. I mean, I realize that's not actually what's going on here, but these sort of ghostly buildings make me think about that. So definitely kind of a surreal quality there that I like. This too, I mean, again, it's another one that feels like sort of an older image. I feel like there's a good blending overall in your work, I think, of kind of this more classic look of the boardwalk with kind of a more contemporary look. I think this is really interesting as well. I feel like the space is a little chaotic, but it's chaotic in an interesting way rather than just being chaotic in a way of like, just chaotic where there's not a rhyme or reason to it, or it's like overly done to the point where it's just a lot of noise. I feel like you did a good job of avoiding that here and sort of getting something that is chaotic in a really interesting way and makes for a good image. So hopefully that wasn't too disjointed. I feel like, yeah. But I definitely thought that went well. Your work, not my critique. So last but not least, we have DJ's work. And again, we'll go through, we'll look at it, and we'll come back and talk. This is cool. That's like bizarre, but very, very cool, very cool. With sort of the way that the pose is kind of reflected in these things in their hands. I don't know what they are, but definitely very interested. Is this some sort of camera? I don't know. Sorry. So continuing on, that was kind of weird. And then we have some sort of alright. So it almost kind of feels like two different projects here, because you have sort of these guys and their stuff that they're doing with the waves, right? And then you have the images of this woman here. This is really nice. I like sort of the sort of layered effect that this has, where it's like the beach and that. This adds a nice bit of color to the foreground, and it's just pretty well composed. This one's pretty well composed too. I feel like some of the ones with her in them are visually somewhat similar. Although I do like this shot a lot. I like the low perspective And again, pretty well composed in terms of not placing her in the center of the image, but sort of off center. Her head is right at that rule of thirds sort of top line. I like the little splash of color there. I think, though, that I'd probably say that this is your most successful image. Well composed, these guys in the right spot, and just the sort of the way that he's like inside the wave and they're sort of mirrored poses. I find that really very interesting. But yes, thank you, DJ, for adding a little bit of Hawaii into my sort of gray winter day. Anyway, that is all for the critiques, and there's no word to say this time, or excuse me, to write this time, because this is the last assignment. I just want to say thank you very much to all you guys for all your hard work, and I wish you a lot of future success. All right.